How many of you have ever watched a football game and seen those 300-pound players hitting each other every play? I bet you think that that is all that goes into playing defensive line, is being big and strong and overpowering the guy across from you. Now, though that is somewhat true, there is also a lot more that goes into playing defensive line than meets the eye. And this speech will help you gain a better insight into understanding those technicalities. So, my name is Technical.Aloi, and I've been playing football for 13 years, as well as playing football at the Division One collegiate level for 3 years now. And I've also been coached by many individuals who have also played Division One football, as well as playing football at the highest level, that being the National Football League. So, to begin with, I will help you explain that the first thing that a defensive lineman will look for is not the guy across from him, but the whole formation that the offense is in as a whole. So to begin with, I will explain some of those formations that will help the defensive lineman to get a read on what play may be coming. So the first way to identify a formation is to know where the tight ends and running backs are. And the tight ends and running backs will be in the tackle box. Now the tackle box is when you take the two tackles, the ends on both sides of the offensive line, and you draw a line vertically parallel to them up and down the field. And those lines indicate the tackle box. Now, tight ends, most of the time, are either attached to the tackle box by being attached to one of the tackles or offset slightly behind one of the tackles. And the running backs will most likely be behind the offensive line anywhere in the tackle box. So, to help identify the running back and the tight end, you will use a numerical system. And the numbers involved in that system can range from 10, 11, 12 to 20, 21, or 22. And if you look at slide 2, you'll see some examples of 12 personnel as well as 22 personnel. Now, those numbers signify the first number in each of those numbers signifies the running back. So if it is 12 personnel, there's one running back because one is the first digit in that number. And if it is 22 personnel, there's two running backs because two is the first digit in that number. And vice versa, the second number represents the tight ends. So on 12, there's two tight ends because two is the second digit in that number. And in 22, there's also two tight ends because two is the second digit as well. And that is an important thing to read because most likely if there's a 2 in any of the formations, then that most likely will be a run-heavy formation. And that being showed because the offense is trying to put more guys in the tackle box than the defense has in the tackle box so they can run the ball so they can have a blocker for everyone and have the running back come free. Now, if the formation only has one tight end or one running back, which is balanced, or if it only has one running back and no tight ends, that is also a balanced formation, and it can be difficult to know whether it is pass or run. Now, if there is only one running back and no tight ends, or one tight end and no running backs, that will most likely be a very pass-heavy play that is coming because they are outnumbered in the tackle box. So, now that you can read and get a better understanding of the play that is coming by knowing where the right tight ends and running backs, what if they're in the balanced formations that most offenses will run 50% run and 50% pass out of those formations? So that being the case, there are some formations that the wide receivers will be in that will also give you a tell on how to read the ensuing play. So one formation that the wide receivers could be in that is very common is twins formation. And twins formation is when there is two wide receivers on each side of the O-line. So there'll be two over here and two over there. And that is a very pass-heavy formation because there is only 7 guys in the tackle box for the offense, and most defenses will have a front 7. So that being the case, the quarterback is not having a part in a running play, so the offense will be outnumbered. So twins is a very pass-heavy formation. Another formation that the offense could be in is tray formation. And tray formation is when there's 3 wide receivers to one side of the offensive line and a tight end attached to the other side of the offensive line and a running back and a quarterback. Now, this could trick the defense into looking like a pass heavy due to those three wide receivers, but it is actually a very run heavy formation because the offense is just trying to spread out the defense so they can take guys out of their box to cover those three wide receivers and also cover the tight end. And the offense will run it most likely behind the side that the tight end is attached on. Then another formation that offense can be in is trips. Trips is similar to Trey. There's three wide receivers on one side, but in trips, the tight end is not attached to the other side. So the offense may run this play to try and confuse the defense to make them think that it's Trey so that they think it is run when really they're in trips, so they will run a pass. And if you look at slide 3, that has a better and pictures of other formations that the offense can be in. And I would like to cover all those formations and how they can affect the run and pass, but I'm afraid I just don't have time for that today. So now that you can predict the play that is coming by knowing where the tight end or running backs are or how the wide receivers are lined up, you now can have a better guess of what play is coming, and then you will know which blocks are going to come with that play. So one common run block that you can get in a running play is a base block. And a base block is when the offensive lineman across from you will come directly at you and try and press you back off the line of scrimmage. Now, to beat this block, you will need to get your hands on the offensive lineman, have a strong base, and stay low. And you hold them so you do not get pushed back. And then you wait for the running back to commit to a side, and then you shed off the block and pursue the running back. Then another common run block that you can get is a scoop block. And a scoop block is when the offensive lineman in front of you will try and work through you, through the linebacker, and an offensive lineman to either side of him will try and overtake you to whatever side the play is going. Now, to beat this block, you need to also get hands on, but you need to flatten out the guy that is trying to work through you so that both of those offensive linemen have to dedicate their blocks to you, and then the linebacker will be able to run free and make the play. And then another common run block is a reach block. And a reach block is when an offensive lineman will try and cross your face and pin you to one side. And to beat a reach block, you will need to be able to fight the hard shoulder, which the hard shoulder is the shoulder that the offensive lineman is turning to pin you with. So you flatten him out, and then you shed to the side that he's trying to pin you away from, because that is where the play will be going. And then the final block that I'd like to talk about is a pass block. And a pass block is when the offensive lineman will either step back or move side to side to beat you. Now, there are many ways to beat a pass block, but the main goal is to get to the quarterback before he can throw the ball to a wide receiver. But two easy ways to beat those kind of pass block is if the lineman steps back, you'll use a power move to try and push him even farther back into the quarterback. Or if the lineman moves side to side, you can also move side to side away from him to get to the quarterback. So now a defensive lineman can know what play is coming. Then they also know which blocks are coming with that play, and then they know how to beat that block so that they can have success in the play that is coming. So a defensive lineman must know the formation of the offense. That is key in helping the defensive lineman succeed. And the defensive lineman must know which blocks are coming, which each play that can come out of each formation. It is very complicated that the defensive lineman watches lots of film so that he knows all of this information come game day. So now that you have heard the speech, I hope you understand that playing defensive line is very technical and that it is a complex position on the football field, and that is not just about being big, strong, and overpowering the guy across from you.